Hello and welcome to Matchday Menu. I am your host, Amy. Today I'm hosting Arsenal fans and I'm absolutely surrounded because even our cameraman, Kevin, is an Arsenal fan. We're just down the road from the Emirates at that wing place on Holloway Road. I'm joined today by Christian, Billy, Liam and Kate. We've just been talking score predictions, overcoming games. So yeah, this is what we're talking about. Enjoy.
If you're hungry, come here because it will fill you up.
It's the biggest chicken burger I've ever eaten in my life. I had to eat half of it before filming because it was never going to work. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
It's really good and really big and much better than any other chicken shop.
I wanted to talk about, I kind of covered that, the bottle job. So maybe talk a little bit about how everybody seems to want to bottle this season, the league, and they want it almost every year as well. Why do you think that is? Is it Arsenal fans that are the problem? Is it because we don't want someone new winning it, or someone different winning it? Why do you think?
It is about Arsenal. I feel like we're that perfect, in-between club. We're not Man United or Liverpool, who are the two big clubs in England. But we're not Spurs or Chelsea, who are just below. We're kind of in between. And I feel like if we have a period of domination that people are talking about, we go on and win a few more leagues, we will be up there. Do you know what I mean? We were up there, kind of early 2000s, winning doubles, going invincible, winning leagues, got to Champions League final, which we didn't win. I feel like in the last 20 years, Arsenal have literally just declined until Mikel Arteta came. And then, as Arsenal fans will know, it's just started going upwards again. It obviously didn't happen quickly. It's been a process, taken 5 or 6 years. I feel like rival fans are so used to us being that, like you say, bottle job club, in the muds, laughing Arsenal, banter era, banter FC, that I don't think they can bear the thought of us actually being good again. And we are actually good again. But the only thing missing, and I think we'll all say that, is trophies. So if we go and do it, all that changes, No more banter era, no more laughing. Because even now Arsenal are good. You still go in comment sections and listen on the street. People are still saying, but where are the trophies? What have you won? When we do eventually win, all that will end.
I feel like we're never going to hear the end of it from you.
I think you will. People like an underdog. Like most fans kind of like Leicester winning the league, and Arsenal aren't an underdog. We're a huge club. And I think it goes back to you pitch your club against other rival clubs. And so you don't want a team like Arsenal to be winning the big trophies because your team could be winning the big trophies. And so I think it's more of a reflection on people's own clubs. And also, we've not won in 21 years. Probably are a little bit insufferable on social media and the people you meet because we're so excited and hoping it'll happen. So I think it's a combination of that, really.
One thing that really bothered me was when Wenger left. All your fans were calling this name at the same, you wanted him out. I don't know if you remember, it was quite a long time ago, but I really remember it. And I remember thinking, as whatever age I was as you, I remember thinking, he's fantastic. He's been there for a million years. I was like, I feel like you guys don't realise that you will become worse when he leaves, and you did. And I felt like your fan base, maybe there's this toxicity that, underpresenter case, not my opinion per se, but is there a toxicity amongst the fans?
I think when you're winning, it's easy. Everyone loves each other. And when you're not doing so well, then people start to complain. I mean, Wenger, I think that was leave a hero before you become a villain sort of thing. Obviously everyone's going to love him forever, but it had to be done. The billet had to be bitten. And yeah, I mean, then we had Emery.
Yeah.
But it wasn't much better.
It wasn't bro.
But yeah, no, I think now I think the fan base is, it's amazing. It's amazing when you get in there, but bad times breed bad atmospheres, I guess. And that was a pretty bad time.
Yeah. So would you say that maybe it's the toxic fan base or the reputation of being a toxic fan base that is why people don't want you to do as well?
I think every fan base is kind of similar. I mean, we were in a period of stagnation. I don't think any fans like the stagnation. I mean, you could think of West Ham. They just won the European trophy and they were calling for David Moyes' head. And he got the sack, and we've seen what's happened since. Tottenham Hotspur, our best friends, you see this clamour and change for all these new managers calling for sack. I mean, Thomas Frank's been there 2 months and they're already doing parades to get him out. I mean,
You Liverpool fans don't sort out right now.
I mean, yeah, I was at my father-in-law's this weekend. He's a massive Liverpool fan, and yeah, he's literally talking about slot out. So I think loyalty and toxicity within fan bases is common throughout. Maybe because we've got the most Twitter followers and we're present in these domains. It's a trophy, all right?
I need something to brag about.
There are some presence on social media is crazy. But on what you just said, Arsene Wenger hadn't won a title in think 14 years, 13 years. When's my last one? I think it's up 20.
About 14 years ago, yeah.
14.
14, yeah.
And people were then calling for him out. And the noise was only starting to get loud in that last couple of years, like the real Wenger out, like the, what's it called when everyone gets together to protest? That's the one I'm looking for.
The protest. I thought that parade before. The parade, yeah. You're right. Well, that's not always pick up his head.
Wait, what if you go viral for being in the parade?
Parade.
Who's that idiot on that video?
But yeah. The protest started in the last couple of years. But he had, 10, 12 years of no one really saying he has to go because he bought all that time with the good things that he'd done.
But like, I know you weren't winning leagues, but you were still top 4 that whole partnership. You were still up there, big,
but that's
challenging.
In the last couple of years, even the top 4 wasn't there. We had a couple of FA Cups, which kind of kept it floating a little bit. But after that, we were just, dropped out of the top 4, not getting the Champions League. And yeah, it was the right time to go. Maybe not the right time to get him out, but if you look at a lot of the big clubs around Europe, a lot of their fans do protest and do make parades. They do parade. See Milan, Real Madrid do the same. If Real Madrid have like a player, that player knows, and that player either has to perform or they're out. Same with the managers. Like, they're not going to waste time. Barcelona, if they had a manager that didn't win a trophy for 2, 3, 4 years, or 5 years, like Mikel Arteta, he wouldn't be there anymore. So there is an argument from a lot of the fan base that don't believe in Mikel Arteta, although maybe now they're believing, that if this was any other big club, you would have changed it so much quicker because it's not working. And for a long time under Wenger, it wasn't working to the end, and he had that credit in the bank. So when you see Slot now, who, in my opinion, has a credit in the bank because he just won a Premier League. Thomas Frank doesn't really have any credit in the bank, so I understand that. But sometimes it's right to be loud and make noise, sometimes it's not.
I think the Leicester winning the title, was the catalyst for people like, okay, we need to change now, because that was the opportunity where the big winners, weren't winning the trophies, weren't winning up to winning the Premier League, and we weren't there. We weren't there to win it, and I think from that season, I think he left a year or two later, it got really loud. But yeah, as you were saying, we're getting top 4 every year. It's stagnation, isn't it? It's like Real Madrid, they might be winning big trophies, but if you're used to winning big trophies, then you still want the next thing, and I don't know.
And it wasn't even all his fault, the club didn't back him and invest like they should have. If they wanted to be a serious club, they would have given him a lot more money. They were happy with where we were in top 4. Because ultimately, the revenue you get from finishing 4th and finishing 1st isn't that different. If you qualify for the Champions League, obviously now it's top 5 now. Qualifying for the Champions League that's what brings the money, the TV rights and all of these things. And they were happy with that.
That's actually so true. I think that's actually such an interesting nuance with the ownership changing. Like, the Cronks have been there since 2011, but they only got full ownership literally around the time when Arteta became manager. And they weren't willing to put in the sort of money that you're now seeing for that first few years of their tenure, because it wasn't their full asset. And so, I think you need a bit of luck as well. The investment that you're seeing, the investment that is now leading us to say we're going to win the league is, I'd say, fortunate timing with the ownership and Arteta.
Which isn't spoken about enough, because a lot of, obviously, fans want to win, right? The number one thing for a fan is we want to win titles, we want to lift trophies. If finishing 2nd and finishing 1st for an owner is literally the difference of £10 million, which is so small when you're talking about the billions that are in these clubs, and Arteta is finishing 2nd for 3 years in a row, they're not going to care as much as fans, because the revenue they're getting in isn't as much. Unless they have that personal pride and actually care about the club winning and they support the club, it's a business at the end of the day. So now we're seeing from the Cronkies, since the full ownership, which I think was 2018, they actually want to win. They have that pride. They have the American football team in America, obviously, who do win. And I've obviously got that, what's the SoFi Stadium? Is it?
Yeah, Le Ram Stadium.
It's like they're so proud of that. They're winning Super Bowls. Like they want Arsenal to be that as well. And you can see they actually want to win rather than just being a business.
I think Josh as well, it really dipped like the Super League times. We had the parades, Cronkies out. It feels like Josh is it feels like Josh's baby now. I feel like the club has become a little bit of like Josh Kroenke's baby. And I think he's probably the catalyst for a lot of that change.
He said in 2018, be excited, didn't he? And that was when they got the full ownership, so he knew.
No, we signed Pepe.
We signed Pepe. Signing. It was along the right lines, Like, a lot of teams were wanting Pepe at the time. So they were doing, starting to invest, do the right things. He said, be excited. It's taken maybe 7 years to actually understand why he said that. But you can see, look, you spend £100 million on Declan Rice that a lot of teams want. You go out, do you know what I mean? All these strikers now, like Victor Gyökeres in the summer, whether you like him now and rate him because you've seen him as a player, there are so many teams that would have signed Victor Gyökeres. But Arsenal wanted to sign him, could afford his wages, could afford to bring him in, and he wanted to join Arsenal.
Just circling back a bit to the fickle fan comment, how long would you say is a fair amount of time before turning on a player or a manager? Because, like, I agree, I think fans go too quickly, and that then becomes toxic, then it's in their head. What would actually be fair?
I don't know. I feel like lots of fans, obviously, like towards the end of last season, were saying like Arteta out, especially when we lost. People were saying, I feel like you have that every time that we come second. Like, people are going to say Arteta out, but you have to look at where we were before him and where he's gotten us. Obviously, it's frustrating that it's taken quite a while. But what does he say when he was like, trust the process? What's his quote?
Trust the process.
Yeah, I said to trust the process. And I, as an Arsenal fan, have a lot of faith in him, and I do think it will be our year. And if we don't do it this year, like win the Prem or win the Champions League, I don't know. I still don't think Arteta out, personally. I don't.
Fair. I think as well, it's like, for me, that question is always, who are you going to get in instead as well?
I know.
Like, I just don't think there's a handful, maybe 2 managers in the world that I'd actually say could be better than him. I'm not even sure I fully believe that.
Edwin Enrique.
Yeah, Enrique. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Arteta's sort of now the comparison, right? Like, everyone gets compared, like, oh, Arteta got this time and now look, it's worked. And then other clubs will use that. Like, I've heard it for like 5 United managers. Maresca's maybe working now. Like, he had a few dips. Like, obviously it's subjective, manager to manager and player to player, but I think in like the way football is now, like, if you really want to win something, you have to give managers time because it's just so competitive. And like, you can bring in like got mind blank, who Forest just bought him? Sean Dyche. You can bring in a Dyche and he can save you. It can save you a season, but like, if you want to win a league, you got to have a project, I think.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like rhyme or reason to it. I think it can differ. I think just as a fan, if you believe in the manager or you believe in a player, that's your opinion. No, there's times when I definitely doubted Arteta. I've never been Arteta out and protested when to be out. Or crazy to say. I never
Don't be positive all the time, guys.
never braided for him to get out. But yeah, there could be doubts. But at the end of the day, I personally believed in the football and its philosophy since day one. I believed in kind of, when you see a manager speak, you either believe in them or you're a bit like, I don't know about this guy. And yeah, with the player, it's easy to turn. I think a lot of noise on social media does that to fans. Even I've had opinions sometimes, and you read something, you're like, oh, actually, and you start watching the game a little differently. Like Gyökeres, for example, at the start of the season, I thought he was all right. It wasn't great. People start talking about him wearing jeans and Timberland boots and all this stuff, and you start watching him being like, hey, it does look a little bit heavier. It's just like, just have your own opinion sometimes, Sometimes players can prove you wrong, sometimes it go the other way, but
I think whenever a team loses a game, you're always going to have negative opinions of certain players and maybe even the manager. But I can't remember the last player that maybe Arsenal fans unanimously turned on. And I think that's probably because we're doing well. But I mean, a recent example of a player that maybe fans probably wanted gone was Martinelli in the summer. I think most fans saw that the left wing was a position we needed to improve, and I can't speak for everybody, but I can definitely speak for myself. He's massively surprised me this year as a player that I was pretty certain we should move on. And, he's won us, I think, 2 Champions League games because of his goal contributions. And it's,
we overview Trossard as well.
Yeah, and Trossard as well, yeah.
Trossard is exactly the same. Like, a lot of fans would have been happy to move Trossard on this summer, but he's arguably been our best attacker this league.
Expectation-wise, is it just the league we care about this season? Is there anything else that you're massively competitive? But are we looking for some...
Go on, do it.
Go on.
Get the chest out. Say it.
I was thinking about this yesterday. I was actually in the group chat putting our path to the final, working out which games are fitting around it. Champions League. I would happily take winning the league and going out the Champions League now if it meant we won the league. I think if we won the league and lost the Champions League now, it's a brilliant season. You didn't win the Champions League. But if we didn't win the league and won the Champions League, it'd be a euphoric moment, but that would be a bottle, wouldn't it? How have we not won the league? So I think we need to win the league. I think I'm actually about to downplay other people's Champions League triumphs, but if you think of some of the teams that won the Champions Leagues, like think of Chelsea's 2 Champions Leagues, and I'm going to get hate for this, but they weren't the best teams in the world, were they? They're not going to go down in history as some of the best teams that have ever played. And so I think to establish yourself amongst the top of the elite, you need to be winning your domestic league. And then on top of that, bring the Champions League home.
Yeah, and shut everybody up as well. Is that the same for you, Kate?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I'd prefer to win. Probably.
The euphoric moment of the Champions League probably is bigger than the league, maybe.
Yeah, Champions League all the way.
Can't wait for the parade after.
Protest. The right. If we win, I'll be protesting.
That's a good point, though, because the league, you can almost see it coming. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you could win the league with 5 games to go. If it gets down to the last day, maybe you couldn't see it coming. Maybe that is more euphoric. But the Champions League, you get to a final, it all builds up to that one day, and then the euphoria is like a different kind of feeling to it.
Someone said this the other day, that the Champions League is an event and the league is a journey. You know what I mean? The league it's nice, isn't it? It's from all the podcasts. It's not mine, that. It's from all the podcasts. And it struck with me. Yeah,
It's the same argument of like, for example, last season my friend Caleb is a Tottenham fan, and we lived together. And he goes week in, week out. His family had 3 season tickets. He would come home after every week. I think they lost 21, 22 games in the league, 20 games, or whatever it was. They were losing pretty much every single week in the league. And he would be every weekend of his was ruined. He was always sad. He takes his girlfriend to watch Tottenham too. She was always sad. But then they win a trophy at the end of it. And it's like, is that couple of days where you're celebrating that trophy, does that make up for that entire year of sadness when every weekend is ruined?
I mean, for me, like, it's the league. Like, we've waited 3 years. I feel like we've just been there. Like, that journey's been so long. Like, the UCL will be cherry on the top, but I need that league. I need that league title. I need it.
So we're going to win it all.
Right. What was Arsenal's original name? I had no idea that there was an original name.
There's actually 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually have no idea.
Something funny is always good.
This is wrong.
Turn around. Right.
Forget it.
Slip. Just because I'm facing behind, can you read them to?
Went for Woolwich Arsenal.
All right, for something about us being in South London,
We're up at Dial Square.
I had no idea, so the clock end.
It's the clock end.
No, it is Dial Square according to Google. But did you say that's twice? Yeah.
So Arsenal, at one point, were called Woolwich Arsenal as well.
That's
which is the area of Woolwich Arsenal. Yeah, but Dial Square was the original name. I think it was 1886 was the year they were founded in South London.
Yeah. How do you feel about being all North? Because I had a few people slag you guys off again on my show. Just saying like they weren't even in North London. Might have been Spurs fans actually.
Yeah, it was something to do with the war. Like, it wasn't. They didn't just move because they went to move, but they were actually at the deep.
Yeah.
The reason.
I think the stadium, the munitions factory is no longer needed, so we were set up. Like the first team worked at the munitions factory, and we were founded in a pub called the Royal Oak. So if you look at any of like the away shirts, you might see like a little tree.
Those little guys there.
There we go, right there. That's supposed to be the Royal Oak. That's what they were founded in. But they're called Dial Square, so was that the first name?
How long were you guys called that for? Do you know?
That's a good question.
Oh, we don't know.
So no, I don't know that one.
Neither do I.
I think they got kicked out because the munitions factory wasn't needed anymore. The land went, and then had to relocate. Which
Aren't Arsenal? Who's the other team? Arsenal, Port Vale. They're like the only teams in the Football League that aren't named after the station.
Yeah, very true. The train station is named after Arsenal, not the other way around.
I just made all that up, by the way. Complete bite. You reckon they'll buy it? That's a tree. That's a tree on the back.
Question. What do you call it when a fan base... What would you call it when a fan base turns on either a player or a manager or anyone at the club? Write your answer down.
And wants them out.
And they want them out, and they're doing something.
They all get together, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. Put your answers to the camera when you're ready.
I put nasty because everyone here has been really, really nasty.
Anyone got any realistic answers?
I put protest because I think that might be the right answer.
Also got a protest.
I think that's right, actually.
They're joking me. I thought everyone would put parade.
I thought that was the point, that he was going to put parade.
Yeah.
And we were going to
That's
put
what
protest.
nasty
No,
are.
he took
He got
major
sensitive.
credit.
Alright.
I think the 7th time was too much, and the fact there's a pending viral video.
I'm gonna lose my job.
I'm panicking, I'm gonna lose my job. I'm gonna lose my job. Last question, this is again just a bit of fun. If I say Tottenham Hotspur, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Write it down. Relatively PG, please, guys. It's a family show.
Oh, there's only one word that we're all going to write.
Okay.
Oh my god!
I know what you're thinking.
Obviously.
I've taken it deep.
He's written what I was
If
going
yours
to
is
write.
really bad, will you show it me and they can look at my live reaction?
Okay, I've got one. Yeah, that's what I was going to write. Did you say one word or like a phrase?
You
Is
can
that
be,
right?
yeah, just what comes to mind, I guess.
Ah,
You can be creative with it.
I like where you're going with it.
Is it alright?
Oh, I
I
don't
like-
know.
I think I know.
I like
I'm scared, but turn your whiteboard around, please. Maybe you. Can you guys now turn them to me so I can see what?
It's good, it's good.
Nice illustration.
Thank you.
You're getting deep with yours. Nasty sadness. These are just your emotions right now.
I just like honestly, I think if like my child was a Tottenham fan, I'd feel like an immense sadness for them.
Yeah.
Like, because I know the life that they're going to have,
And they don't
and I
choose
wouldn't
that.
want that. And I'm an empathetic person.
Tough life.
It's tough life. It's
That's
tough life.
That's why I've gone for Lil Bro. I think they just always have been Lil Bro. They always will be Lil Bro. Even the trophy they won, that's a trophy for a Lil Bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big bro. Big bros go on and win, majors. And they are, like I said, and always will be Lil Bro.
That is going to annoy some people, and it will be a real. I'm also a neutral, by the way, everybody. I don't agree with anything.
They're going to be saying, what have you won? You just wait on it, trust me.
Anyway, this has been the Arsenal episode of Matchday Menu. I've been joined by this fabulous crew, and we've learned that Parade Boy, #Parade Boy, is our new viral thing. Guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, maybe drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.